Magical Encounters with Spirits, a short story proving spirits are real. According to many experts on the subject, I am are the two magic words we all need to use to change our lives for the better. I listen intently to the positive podcasts on my tablet after letting my dogs out at 5 a.m. for their morning rituals and climb back under the covers with them, snuggling my feet under their permeating warmth on these crisp, chilly autumn mornings. I lie there in the dark pondering the question of my reality, my personal struggles in life, and wonder how fundamentally awesome it would be to be able to do anything I want at any time with unlimited finances. I am what I believe myself to be, and quite frankly, I haven't given myself much credit for much at all. I've constantly told myself you're in deep water where finances are concerned. The reasoning for this I am theory is that if you feel happy, you will attract happiness, which will attract health and wealth too. Be aware of your feelings, these experts happily advise. For instance, you can say, I am happy, healthy and wealthy. If you have an uneasy feeling, pivot your thoughts into a good, happy feeling by repeating the sentence until you feel you believe it. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes this can be slightly daunting. Here's a classic example. My Great Dane Cross Irish Wolfhound puppy bounds into my room after her early morning treasure hunt. I'm awed at her cleverness, praising her as she proudly shoves my missing garden glove she just found into my hand. I feel the damp morning dew being wiped across my arm as I retrieve my glove from her mouth. Her tail happily whacks the cupboard loudly with her uncontained wagging. It's so rewarding to have such a happy animal, I catch myself thinking. Wait, no. The distinct waft of fresh poop permeates the air. I feel the warm, dreaded realization rise in my body like a volcano in the point of erupting. I look down at my arm in horror as I discover cat poop remnants from her mouth are now smeared so delicately all over my arm. Ugh. Much to her amusement, I jump out of bed with the agility of a well-seasoned acrobat, thankfully landing on both feet, and speed off to the bathroom like a sprinter about to win a 100-meter dash. My finish line being the satisfaction of warm soapiness on my sullied arm. Oh, the delights of owning animals, especially a 6-month-old furry, goofy giant, I think to myself, half grinning through my disgust. Sometimes I wonder if she eats the poop just to get my shocked reaction, which she clearly finds hilarious. A firm scolding or whack just seems to bring a grin to her cute whiskered mouth. Or maybe she just likes her teeth to be brushed. I haven't quite made up my mind yet as to what explanation I care to believe. But she's adorable, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. So I guess in a very strange way, I am happy. Puppies aside, I do know that I am quite the thinker. Understanding the fundamentals of time and space have always been foremost in my mind. I remember a house I lived in as an 18-month-old baby, and have even drawn a detailed layout of it a few years back, which was verified as correct by my now deceased mom. With such vivid memories from such an early age, I often wonder how far back we can remember. Perhaps we have had previous lives, as I have quite detailed memories of being executed by guillotine, and my head tumbling into a large reed basket. The view from a tumbling head is quite dizzying, as you take quite a few moments to die. I also have a vivid memory of walking on a cobbled road in a village as a young 17-year-old boy in the 1700s, wearing breeches and stockings that tied at the knees, feet adorned with buckled shoes. Proof of reincarnation or just a wild imagination? Then there are those dark shadows that I sometimes see in my peripheral view. What if, when you dream, you sometimes visit your past self, and these shadows are you looking at your past self? What would the reasoning be regarding this, you might be wondering? Well, to return to your younger self and look at that particular experience from an outsider's point of view, and with new perspective perhaps. Time and space is relative, especially in our dreams. I have dreamt of meeting my deceased dad in my dreams and him joyfully swinging me around in one of our rooms, which in reality is too tiny by far to consider doing that. Dreaming or astral traveling, or perhaps you will feel more at ease referring to it as lucid dreaming. Years ago, when I was in my 30s, not long after my dad passed away, my mom and I went to an angel meeting. 2 spiritualist ladies spoke about angels, led us to a combined angel circle prayer, and discussed death and how our angels are constantly around us to help us when we ask for assistance. That night, just after I fell asleep, I astral traveled out of my body. I was quite confused at first. It was dark, but as I turned around, I could see my body lying on the bed. I turned again and saw one of the lady spiritualists from the angel meeting. She reached out and took my hand and led me down the passage to the kitchen. It was all very surreal and almost tunnel-like. She seemed to be talking to me in my head and explained that there was something she needed to show me, something I couldn't see in my waking life. She led me to the kitchen door, which had a window at the top of. and as I peered through, I saw our dogs jumping up at the window. Curled up in the far corner was our beloved Rottweiler Zobert, who had died from cancer the year before. The spirituous lady explained that when our dog had died, he had chosen to stay with us to protect us, but because we could not see him, he was being deeply affected. He was alone and depressed, so lay forgotten and unloved in his corner, which I found so profoundly heartbreaking. The angel lady said to me that I needed to go to him and release him, as he was not doing well and that he was stuck in constant despair. Somehow I went through the door without opening and calling. His delight at me being able to see him and acknowledge him was beyond any love I've ever experienced. He came bounding over to me, jumping up and licking me and just plain going crazy from happiness as I hugged him over and over again, saying I was so sorry for not seeing him. Then slowly, at about 10 meters away from us, on the side of the house, I noticed a small circular cloud start appearing. It was swirling about a meter off the ground, getting denser, forming a distinct circular cloud of about 2 meters wide. It was in constant motion until the clouds parted from the center, revealing what looked like a portal to another place. I knelt down with my arm around Zobert, both of us transfixed on this image of an alternate reality appearing through the portal. We saw a lush, beautiful meadow with a calm, flowing stream, trees and flowers, so beautiful and abundant. The colors were so bright and clear like none I've ever seen before. A little further away I could see a young boy, about 7 years of age, sitting on a log near the stream. He felt oddly familiar and was smiling at us, but I couldn't place him. He beckoned to Zobert to come to him. Zobert looked at him excitedly, wagging his tail, looked back at me as if he didn't want to leave. I hugged him and told him I loved him and will miss him. I thanked him for staying but said that he had to go, because he belonged there. He sprinted off and jumped up and into the cloud, through to the other side, where he licked and greeted the little boy as if they were old buddies. Zobert turned around and looked back at me again, and sprinted back, jumping back out. This time I could hear him in my head. He could communicate with me and said, "I'll miss you, but I know you'll be okay. I love you, but I must go. Thank you for helping me across. I will see you one day again." Then he turned around and leapt back through to the boy. The clouds instantly started swirling closed again, drifted up and dispersed as if they had never been there. I woke up with a jolt back in my body. Was it a dream or did it really happen? It felt real to me. This brings me to another phenomenon. Spirits. I know they exist because I've personally experienced seeing some when I was 19 and shared a bedroom with my 70-year-old maternal grandmother. She had fallen and broken her hip and had a metal replacement, which was unfortunately causing her to experience septicemia. This was 3 months before she passed away. My mixed breed fox terrier woke me at 2 a.m. barking like crazy at something in my room, and as I tried to shush him, he dived off my bed and under my grand's bed, reappearing and dashing under continuously while barking furiously. I managed to pull him out and he kept growling at something at the end of my grand's bed. I looked up and saw a man standing there, bomber jacket on, hands in pockets, quietly looking at my gran. I experienced pure calmness, no fear at all, and remember thinking, "Oh, there's a man standing at the foot of Gran's bed, looking at her." I must have let go of my dog's leg because he dived back under the bed and I had to bend down and lean right under to grab him again and stop him barking, as I didn't want to wake my parents. When I looked up again, the man was gone. I told my gran about our visitor, and as she showed me some old photos, I recognized the spirit. It was her younger brother Jack, who had died in the war. I felt comforted in my belief that my gran's brother was there to fetch her, and he clearly wanted her to know that she wouldn't be alone on her journey to the other side. I find that extremely reassuring. One windy afternoon, years later, on a trail ride with my daughter, my horse spooked at a noisy packet caught in some bushes. She reared up and started bucking. I tried desperately to regain control because I noticed that the bushes were covered in 2-inch long, spiked thorns. To my disdain, I lost my balance and was thrown in the air and headed straight for the thorn bushes. Miraculously, as I was falling, seemingly in slow motion, I felt arms catch me in mid-air and gently place me on the ground in one fluid motion, in the only safe clearing amongst the thorn bushes. I sat unharmed, in stunned silence, verbally thanking my invisible saviour for this unforgettable experience. It's these magical moments that make life's journey worth experiencing, and knowing that our departed loved ones are living on, checking up on us from time to time, makes this roller coaster ride seem so much more appealing. So I no longer tell myself you're in deep water, unless I'm referring to my crazy magical life.